the Alexis Jasmine, and thank you for coming back while I pop my collar. Thank you for coming back and backity back, because you already know I'm back like crack. Don't tell nobody. Hey y'all, it's your girl. But again, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the likes, the comments, the subscribes, the shares. Thank you guys for being present. It is really my pleasure to continue to share my knowledge and my life lessons and my wisdom with you guys, because at the end of the day, my purpose is solely to continue to inspire, motivate, and uplift, my people in general, my people, your people, our people, whoever feels the need or whoever is called to listen to the sound of my voice and listen to the things that I share with you guys. So today we are talking about trusting the process and what that looks like, what that feels like, what that is, what process. A lot of times I hear this saying, trust the process, trust the process. And at a very significant point in my journey, I'm just like in my head, like, what process are you talking about? You feel me? Like, people talk about having a mustard seed of faith or having a substantial amount of faith at a certain point in your journey, but it's just like, what am I having faith in? What process am I trusting? Right? These are very, very, very valid questions. Keep in mind that there is no dumb question. If you don't know something, it's dumb not to ask. You feel me? It's dumb not to find out. But at the end of the day, there is no dumb question. And what may seem dumb to you, somebody actually will see the light in and give you the answers that you are seeking. So don't ever be afraid to ask questions. And when if somebody has ever told you to trust the process and you have no idea what process they are talking about, well, here's the video to give you that information and tell you what process it is that you are trusting in. Of course, from my perspective, this is my journey. I am in my lane. So if you can relate, I recommend that you continue listening. But if at some point you feel like my message just doesn't resonate with where you are on your journey, respectfully, just decline it. Move along, move ahead. You feel me? Like, people spend time disagreeing with something and they don't realize that perspective is subjective. So I can only give you a perspective from my point of view. And if my point of view is not the point of view that you are looking from, then peace out. But at the end of the day, what process am I talking about when I say trust the process? Or what process have I learned that other people are talking about when they have encouraged me to trust the process? The process of becoming. I know you probably was looking for some whole complex answer, but it's the process of becoming. Who are you in this world? Who do you want to be in this world? Who do you aspire to be in this world? Everybody's process is different. Everybody is walking a different journey. Although some of us may be heading in similar directions as it relates to just success, as it relates to being a better version of ourselves, as it relates to personal development, all of us are walking different paths, right? So there are similarities, there are things that we share on our path, but at the end of the day, my process may look a little bit different than your process. So when I say we are working on trusting the process of becoming, all of us are becoming something different. All of us are becoming a different version of ourselves. Not everybody is at the same standpoint in their journey. And when I say becoming, from my perspective, what I'm referring to is the process of becoming a better version of yourself. The process of shedding old programming, old processing, things that have led you to a brick wall at this point in your life, or things that may have worked for you in the past but are no longer working for you in the present. And if they're not working for you in the present, then they are not going to work for you in the near future or the far future, right? So becoming a better version of yourself is hard. It's not easy. Not only do we have to grieve people, sometimes loss of friendships, loss of people, loss of lives in our life, but we also have to grieve versions of ourselves there are different phases that we have been, you know, whether it be for survival, whether it have been, you know, to get us through a particular season, but you will have to grieve certain levels of life that you no longer relate to. You know, and on those certain levels of life, there are friendships that you may have to grieve. There are, you know, things, places that you will have to grieve. Like when you have it in your mind and your eyes are set on a vision of being the best version of yourself, whatever no longer aligns with that version of yourself is something that you will have to let go of. You know, there may be places that you no longer frequent because the activities that go on in these places no longer resonate with the person that you're becoming. There may be habits that you may have to let go of and fight to, you know, no longer be addicted to. Some people are addicted to things that you know, they consume, or things in their life that work for them in a particular season. But when you have your eyes set on this particular version of yourself, you are going to have to let go. You feel me? For instance, if I was a cigarette smoker and I want to become a holistic coach, what is that? You know, and that's a grandiose example, but it's just a prime example of having to let go of certain things and allow the process of becoming to take you where it is that you're trying to go in life. You know, whether you're trying to be a lawyer and you don't read, how's that going to work? You feel me? Like, what are things that you have to let go on your journey in order to allow the process of becoming to unfold? And in the process of becoming, in the midst of trusting the process, it may not be comfortable. Everything may not be flowers and oh, this feels amazing. The process is so beautiful. No. It is not always going to be like that. I'll be lying to you if I said that it was. There will be days where you may cry. There have been days on my journey where I have literally sat in a corner and asked God, why me? But in trusting the process, it got to the point where my perspective shifted so much so that I now say, why not me? I'm awesome. I'm dope. I'm smart. I'm amazing. I'm deep. I'm intellectual. I'm me. So why not me? Why not me for the purpose that has been chosen for me? Why not me for the path that I am choosing to walk? Why not me to share my journey and inspire, uplift, and motivate other people? You feel me? So when I say trust your process, what I mean is just let go. Let go of controlling the outcome. And just allow life to show you something, to teach you something. When you see things about people that are uncomfortable with where you are in your life, let those people go. Doesn't mean that you're letting them go for forever, but it means that you're no longer allowing them to penetrate your aura and be so close in the midst of your atmosphere that they conflict, confuse, influence, or stray you from the path that it is that you're walking on. Eating habits. You know, you may have to detox for a certain season. You may have to, you know, let go of sugars and processed foods and fast foods and liquor and junk food. Like, do what it takes in order to continue becoming the best version of yourself. You may have to stop going to the clubs and to the lounges and smoking hookah and smoking weed for a season of your life. Do what it takes for you to realize where it is that you're headed. Some of us are coping so much, since I mentioned weed and alcohol, some of us are coping so much with what is that we're not even allowing ourselves to detox and get to the level for God to show us what is supposed to be, or what is becoming, or what it is that we even want, because we are afraid to deal in the moment. There is no better time or place than the present moment, because in the present moment you are learning, you are growing, you are shedding, you are evolving. Like, there is so much in store for you in the present moment. So don't cope so much so that you miss the window of what the present moment is trying to show you, teach you, and give you in order for you to grow in the right direction. This is deep. I wasn't expecting to go this deep this morning, but at the end of the day, baby, it has to happen. Don't be so afraid of change that you do nothing and you stay the same. Little by little. It doesn't have to be this whole big overnight 360, 180 of a turnaround. No. Start small. Go from not reading any books to reading a page a day. Go from not drinking any water to drinking 5 glasses a day. Like, work your way up to where you want to be. A gallon is the goal a day. But at the end of the day, there are days where I fall short. There are days where I don't drink any water in a day, and then I get to the nighttime and I be like, My tongue is white. My throat is dry. I'm coughing. Something ain't right. My stomach is bloated. I haven't used the bathroom more times than enough today. Oh, I didn't drink enough water. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability and self-awareness will change your life. Because there's nobody that's literally going to pop in. I mean, I'm here sometimes. You know, I have my own journey that I'm walking. But I'm here to give you game and open up your eyes to the things that I'm realizing about my own life. But at the end of the day, some people can't relate to where I am in my life. And that's okay. So at the end of the day, what I was saying is there's nobody that's going to hold your hand and stay next to you and say, drink water, don't curse, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. That's not how life works. You have to be able to hold yourself accountable. You have to be able to wake up in the middle of the night or wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, something ain't right. I need to change this processing. I need to change the way that I think. I need to change this programming. It's you. Life is what you make it. Y'all know that's one of my favorite sayings. Life is what you make it. And at the end of the day, you can choose to make it mediocre, make it boring, make it unfulfilling, make it lack purpose, or you can shed the things that are no longer serving you and allow yourself to walk your path, walk your journey, and find what does serve you. See, me, I feel like I was surrounded by everything that I could not relate to, but I was just kind of relishing in the midst of it because it was all I knew. But I had to take time and let those things go for a moment. Like, okay, let me step back from the things that I'm forcing myself to relate to just to fit in. And let me sit still and find out what I actually do like, what I actually can relate to, what actually does fulfill me. There used to be a moment in time where I felt like going to the clubs, getting a section, smoking weed, drinking. That was my life. But at some point I became so uncomfortable with it. But I'm just like, this is all I really know. Am I doing this so that I can fit in with these people, so that I can be liked, so that I can be received? Yeah. And once I began to raise my self-worth and realize that I can stand on I don't need nobody. It's me. It's me against me. It's not me trying to fit in, to be liked, to be validated, to be welcome. It's me. I love me. I like me. I receive me. I validate me. So at the end of the day, let me find out what me likes. Let me find out what works for me, regardless of who's rocking with it. And it's when I began to do that I'm like, okay, not only can I do this by myself, but I also realize that in doing these things, in frequenting the places that I like to frequent, in doing the things that I like to do, I realize that I'll find my tribe. So trusting the process of becoming. When people show you something about themselves, believe it. When something doesn't work out for you, realize that it's not rejection, it's redirection. May not be the time for that. Might be the right thing, wrong time. Don't just count yourself out just because it didn't work the first time. Don't count yourself out because the relationship failed. Don't count yourself out because you haven't been in a relationship in a very long time. Well, maybe God wants you to really work on yourself. Don't just say it's the end of the world because a business plan didn't work. Get back to the drawing board. Figure out what did work, what didn't. Like, tweak life. Life is meant to be tweaked. Don't just throw in the towel and say, fuck it, I'm going to sit here and smoke this blunt and drink this alcohol and just say, to hell with everything. No. Tweak it. If it works, work it. If it doesn't, rework it. Find your footing. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to fall. It's okay to crawl until you walk. It's okay to walk until you can run. It's okay to run until you can sprint. But stay in your lane while you're doing it. Don't look at what everybody else has going on and feel like you're doing something wrong. You're lacking. You're missing out. Life is over. No, you are where you are for a reason. Take advantage of it. Do what you can with what you have and realize that at the end of the day, you were in control because your life is what you make it. I got a cough. Okay, I'm back. See, I need to go drink some water. Normally, I know I don't be liking to edit, but that was a cough that I couldn't share with y'all. Okay? I'm about to drink some water after I record this video. But at the end of the day, I love you guys, man. I don't wake up and say, let me do what I do so I can get some likes. Let me do what I do so I can get some comments. Let me do what I do so I can get some subscriptions. I wake up and do what I do because I genuinely not only am I trusting my process and really in love with my journey, but I wake up and I be like, you know what? I just realized this. I know that somebody somewhere doing something can relate to this message. So I share it. That's what keeps me going every day. Falling so in love with my journey and where I am, trusting my process so much so that it invigorates me enough to want to share it with you. So thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing, but thank you for being present even more. Thank you for continuing to walk your journey, that you're finding videos like this. You're sitting and listening to videos like this to give you perspective, to give you game, to drop gems on you. You know, because I had to search for my gems. The same way you may be searching or typing in something that, you know, healing videos or how-to videos or mental health, like that is what I had to do. So continue searching, continue finding the answers, continue educating yourself until you can become a better version of yourself. Just continue. Don't stop. Don't get stagnant. Don't quit. I wanted that to be corny. But in all seriousness, don't give up. You have a purpose. There's a promise over your life. And at the end of the day, just because it didn't work out yesterday, last week, last month, doesn't mean that today will not be the day that you can change the dynamic of your life and change the direction that you were heading in your life. So be dope, be great. More importantly, be you, because who gives a what a gotta say about you? Because at the end of the day, you were fearlessly, I like to say fearlessly because I don't want like fearfully. Why would I be fearfully made? I'm not fearfully made. I'm fearlessly made. Maybe I need to decode that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't sit well with my spirit to say I'm fearfully and wonderfully. No, I'm fearlessly and wonderfully made because I fear nothing. And I do what it does. So I need you to do the same thing. Okay? It's your girl, Alexis Jasmine. Remember to trust the process. Remember to continue learning whatever you need to learn to become the best version. We know what it's like to be the worst version. We know what it's like to be an iffy version of ourselves. But this is the season where we learn how to be and we continue striving to be. I know I see everything in damn hair. Continue striving to be the best version of ourselves. Not only for ourselves, but also for our lineage, for our legacy. We got to keep building. You feel me? Because the version of myself that I was, I wouldn't have made a good ancestor. But now, I can teach the kids something. I got something to offer. I got something to bring to the table. Matter of fact, I bring my own table and my own chairs and my own placemats and all the settings that go with it. So I advise you to do the same. Don't try to squeeze and fit in at nobody else's table. You don't belong there. You're not fitting because there's no space. So create your own. Make way. Big energy is coming through. Yeah. That's the vibes. Don't let nobody break you down. Don't let nobody shake your foundation. Don't let nobody move you off the path so much so that you can't find your way back. It happens. We fall. We stumble. We dust ourselves off and have to try again a lot of times. I'm not perfect. But at the end of the day, I know what the vision is. I know what my goals are. I know at the end of the day, the life that I am creating for me and mine. And that is why I don't quit. So don't quit. Do what it takes. You may be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable situations is where we grow. Do you think seeds like growing in dark dirt? No, I don't think so. But what do seeds do? They continue growing through the dirt, through the mud, until they reach the surface, until they can feel the light. And once you begin to feel the light, you'll begin to grow and you'll begin to relish in the light. You can stay in the dark, but anything, to my knowledge, anything that stays in the dark long enough will eventually die. You play in the dark long enough, you're bound to bump your head. So when do you seek light? When do you stay in the light? When do you stop comparing yourself to people who may be in the dark just as you are and realize that everybody is fighting to get to the surface and feel the light? So keep going, keep fighting, keeping on. Because you're loved. You're worth it. You have a purpose. It's your girl, Alexis Jasmine, the Alexis Jasmine, because I feel like there's no one in the world like me. There's no one that can do what I do or how I do it. That's why I continue to do it, because I'm not worried about anybody else doing the same thing or striving, because at the end of the day, I know that I was made and there's no one else in the world that was made like me. So you need to know that. I don't care how many people are making cupcakes. Nobody's going to make the cupcake that you make the way that you make it and sell it the way that you sell it. So don't worry about a market being saturated, about everybody doing this. Trust your process and do what you do. And more importantly, be you. Peace.
I could put something on your mind right now, so put your limits to the side right now. You hate me, but I'm not that right. But you want me when it's on good.